Welcome back for another video. It's time to run you through how I'm lined up for Gameweek 1. FPL is back and the first deadline is just around the corner. If you're new around here, I've been rank 1 in the world before in FPL and I've finished 3.4k out of something like 11 million managers last season. I'm going to be posting short and sweet daily FPL content all season to help you do well, to get the rank you want and to beat your mates in your leagues, so hit subscribe below to join us. I read every comment, and although I can't reply to everyone, if you ever get a thought, do leave it below in the comments and I'll be sure to see it. And don't forget to install the Focal app for the season, trusted by over 200,000 FPL managers, with a further 40,000 using it this season already. It'll take me too long to list all of the features you can play with, but to name a few, it's got price changes, bonus points, clean sheet and goal scorer odds, articles written by me, fixture ticker and loads more. If you'd like to support the project and actually get loads in return, for 39p per week at the moment, you can unlock all the extra premium features such as dashboard customization, move the widgets around, change the theme, unlock all the premium features on widgets, you can hide ads, unlock all the articles and loads more like that. The pre-season discount obviously ends really soon, so don't miss out before it goes up. Anyone that becomes a member now locks in the lower rate. Links below to get the app for free, or search FPL Focal in the App Store. So the defence and the back line's seen a couple of changes. It's Sanchez, Pedro Porro, Van de Ven and Milenkovic. So I had Vardy before. My concern with him was he didn't travel for Man City's final pre-season game. That's kind of the worst case scenario because it's not even really clear cut. Like, there's still a very good chance he starts Gameweek 1, but you also can't put it past Pep to go with Ake, Ruben Diaz centre back for example, with Aït-Nouri left back. So I've moved him out and Pedro Porro comes in, which also frees up 0.5 million. If you caught the experts video this morning, Porro's prospects are unbelievable. He's in the top 5 for Gameweek 1 projections even. He's going to be on corners from the right side in Maddison's absence, in all likelihood, like he has been in pre-season, and he did so at times last season when Maddison was out. It's rare that we get defenders on corners and the odd free kick. Double Spurs defence, obviously a bit overkill with Van de Ven. It's not going to be every week. It does provide me with the best clean sheet odds for Gameweek 1, with some really nice rotations using my bench defenders. In fairness as well, Tottenham's longer term fixtures beyond Gameweek 1 aren't terrible at all. I wouldn't mind starting double defence in some of these game weeks like Wolves home, Leeds away. Let's see if they put up more of a fight and show more promise against PSG in the Super Cup as opposed to that buying game. If you've got a Forest defender, then let us know which one have you gone with. Milenkovic, Murillo, Williams, Arena, maybe Sells in goal, like they're all great options. It's between Milenkovic and Murillo for me. Milenkovic kind of strikes me as the hope to get lucky pick. He had 4.02 expected goals last season to Murillo's 1.42. So yeah, his aerial threat is absolutely crazy because of his height. Murillo's perfect though for defensive contributions. He hit the threshold in 53% of games last season. Milenkovic did in 35%. However, Milenkovic obviously has that higher ceiling in a nutshell. He scored 4 or more points 60% of the time last season. Murillo did in 47% of the time. So Murillo, in a nutshell, is going to tick along, whereas Milenkovic could have some more swingy scores. You know, like he gets a 1-pointer after they concede twice and he doesn't get enough DCs. But the next week, you know, he could score a clean sheet 15-pointer. So to give you some context, I'd settled on a 3-4-3 draft which had Thiago from Brentford up top, and that was feeling quite settled, but it's been reported that Brentford are in advanced talks to sign Callum Muendo, who's a highly rated striker from Ligue 1, 17 goals, 3 assists last season, he's only 23. So I'm going to keep an eye on that one and how it develops. Like, they've got Mbumo, Norgard, and almost certainly the Vissa cash to splash, so there's going to be incoming players. There's no other 6 mil forwards that I like enough to have in here, like Fulkrug. He's got potential, great fixture Gameweek 1, but after that I just don't really like the fixtures and he doesn't feel like a consistent 90-minute man. So I've pivoted to a 3-5-2 and the midfield is Salah, Palmer, Bruno, Anderson and Tielemans. Tielemans is an interesting one, very much an analytics pick. He's never pulled up roots as an FPL asset, but there's no denying that he's an absolutely class footballer. He did get 10 goal involvements last season, slight chance of penalty duties even. However, he actually does hit the threshold for defensive contributions as well. There's a table here from Scout showing the midfielders, which has got him just creeping in at the bottom there. He hit the threshold in 9 of his 35 starts, so that's about 25%, so 1 in every 4 games he's getting an extra 2 points, at least last season. I'm just not sold on the 5.5 mil mids right now, or any other 6 mil mids. Rutter or Jorginho is actually the one that's really tempting me, but again, it's the minutes. I really want to avoid potentially creating headaches for myself, like a few game weeks into the season where he's just not starting or being benched or, getting reduced minutes every game. Could be a mistake, like if Rutter ends up nailing down a spot in the team, maybe even up top as a number 9, but right now Tielemans looks the best of the bunch to me. Data table here is from Scout, use the link below to get 40% off. And at the opposite end, you've got Anderson, who hit the threshold in 18 games. So he and potentially Tielemans as well, they feel like picks that we're going to have to be really patient with over the season. They're kind of a bit boring, slow and steady points, those unexciting 4 or 5 pointers, but they will add up over time. Bruno is perfectly built for output right now in FPL. There's the open play, goal involvements, goals, assists, penalties, set pieces, free kicks, and he even does an incredible job for defensive contributions. He hit the required threshold 11 times last season. That would have been an extra 22 points. And again, he hit the threshold in their final pre-season game. He's looking like a true set and forget pick potentially. Obviously, that's famous last words when I end up selling him about 5 weeks in, like I did last season. He really is even more appealing though right now with these new DC rules, and 9 mil is such a great price. Like, I think I'd still have him if he was 9.5 mil, honestly. Up front, a change as well. It's Watkins and Mateta. I was a little surprised to see Mateta take the penalty in the Community Shield against Liverpool. We expected Eze could probably still be on them, having buried the last one that they won last season. I mean, Palace and their assets, they do have pros and cons. There could be departures, which I'll talk about in a minute. Guehi maybe, Eze maybe. But first of all, Glasner, he's done a truly remarkable job. He's got Palace performing at their absolute optimum right now. FA Cup winners beating City, Community Shield winners beating Liverpool, loads of chance generation every game. Annoyingly though, unless you're a Forest fan, they were demoted to the Europa Conference League. They should have been the Europa League, but we won't get into that. And they're going to have to play their qualifiers between Game Week 2 and 3 and Game Week 3 and 4. So there is that as well. It's a busier schedule straight off the bat. And they also face Chelsea Game Week 1. They've got Forest Game Week 2. So I'll have Mateta basically versus my 2 defenders the opening 2 game weeks. And then it's a free run after that. They've got Sunderland home Game Week 4. They've got West Ham away Game Week 5. Amazing back-to-back games. But yeah, they really can get results against literally anyone. So those first 3 game weeks aren't necessarily bad fixtures, using those 2 cup examples. So he's in the team now for João Pedro. The penalties honestly were a tipping point. João Pedro, I think he will be better than Mateta if he gets at least 80 minutes every game, but that's just a question mark for me currently. Watkins has been a mainstay in pretty much all of my drafts over pre-season. The fixtures are great, and I'll surely have Villa's penalty taker covered between Watkins and Tielemans in my team. I mean, this is where Marlon steps up and takes the next one. In fact, if you're wondering about Tielemans versus Marlon, again, it's just a minutes thing for me. I tried to avoid any minutes risks as much as possible when drafting a team and making transfers. You're going to see that all season as we go and when I make my moves. On the bench, it's Dubravka, Anderson, Guehi and Mark Yu. So just as I hit record, Ornstein's now reporting that Liverpool are in talks with Palace to sign Guehi. They're stepping up efforts behind the scenes. This one can kind of go 2 ways. If he joins Liverpool and he's a regular starter straight away, it's going to be a game breaker for 4.5 mil in that defence. However, I was chatting to some mates that are Liverpool fans just now, and they pointed out that there is that hierarchy there, and he could share lots of minutes with Konate still, despite Guehi wanting game time assurances if he makes the switch. Could be one of those. I think Konate wants to leave next summer, and I think as the season goes on, if that switch even happens, Guehi ends up being a regular starter. But going back to that point about wanting to pick players that are nailed, maybe he's a risky pick with that transfer rumour. I'm interested to know what your read on that situation is. Maybe he's a wait and see, and I opt for someone like Senesi or just go sideways to Richards. Between Van der Ven, Anderson and Guehi or Richards, they've got a really good fixture run between them. That's where that 0.5 million has gone with Vardiel to Porro. I've just got more depth on the bench basically with 3 4.5 mil defenders rather than 2 and 4 mil. Anderson's got an outstanding record for defensive contributions per 90. He hit the 10 DC's threshold twice as often as Guehi, for example, last season. If I do drop one of the 4.5s to a 4 mil defender, then where would you realistically use that money? That's the big question. One option I have looked at is Tielemans to a 6.5 mil mid like Sarr. I know Ndiaye and Kudus are really popular and they've got the Game Week 1 fixtures, but I'm just not sold on them as long-term picks, honestly, and Sarr's my favourite. If anything changes before Gameweek 1, you will know before the deadline. Otherwise, here we go. Don't forget to check Scout out with the link below to ensure you make no mistakes before Gameweek 1. And don't forget to install the Focal app or go to fpl.page. See you soon for the next one.